Good day mga future CPAs. Today we're going to talk about property dividends payable. The main problem that we have to consider is the valuation of the property dividend payable. So as for the measurement of the liability, we are going to measure the property dividend payable initially at the fair market value of the non-cash asset declared as dividend. Yan, so yun yung valuation natin ng dividend. So for instance, idineklara ng company ang isang non-cash asset, for example is property, plant, and equipment na may carrying amount of let's say 5 million and meron naman siyang fair market value na 6 million. So yun yung gagamitin natin for the initial measurement of the liability. So the entry for on the date of declaration would be to debit your retained earnings RE account and credit naman natin sa property dividends payable at the fair market value nung ating fair market value ng non-cash asset natin, which is 6 million. So ito yung ina-account natin dito is the isang side pa lang ng property dividends payable, which is yung liability side. Because ang isang mahalagang bagay na kailangan tandaan when it comes to accounting for this liability is dalawang ina-account. Hindi lang yung layab pero pati yung asset. Under PFRS 5, once na nag-declare tayo ng non-cash asset as dividend, we have to reclassify na yung property, plant, and equipment into an account called non-cash asset or non-current asset held for sale or disposal. So, ibig sabihin nito, yung property, plant, and equipment natin, hindi na siya magde-depreciate or we are going to stop the depreciation at the moment na i-reclass natin or mag-declare tayo ng dividend, property dividend payable. We are going to reclass nga the property, plant, and equipment. So to do that, we have to credit your property, plant, and equipment carrying amount. So debit nyo yung accumulated depreciation dyan. Tapos as to your debit, we are going to use an account non-current, pa-clean ko na lang, asset held for sale or disposal. And sa mga nagtatanong naman, paano naman yung valuation ng non-current asset natin held for disposal? Well, under PFRS 5, we are going to measure the non-current asset at lower of the carrying value ng asset versus the fair market value of the non-current asset less cost to sell or cost of disposal. So yun yung valuation ng non-current asset held for disposal. So for instance, dun sa problem natin, kung 6 million yung fair market value niya and immaterial naman yung cost to sell, so it is safe to say na ang fair market value niya less cost to sell is also 6 million. Tapos yung carrying value niya as of the date of declaration is also 5 million. So we are going to value this asset at the lower amount, which is 5 million. Yun. So ito yung isang side na kailangan nating i-account, which is the asset side. Yan. Ay, wala na ng tinta. Asset. So we have to account for the liability as well as for the asset. Yan, yun yung mahalagang tandaan dito. For example naman is ang bayaran ng dividends payable mo is next year pa. So we have to adjust the liability because yung una nga nating amount na nilagay dito is only an estimate. Malalaman lang natin yung final valuation ng dividend kapag sinettle na siya. So at settlement date or the date of payment. So as of the declaration and as of the balance sheet date, this would only be an estimate of the liability. So we are going to adjust it. Ibig sabihin, dadagdagan lang natin. Halimbawa, ang fair market value niya or ng non-current asset declared as dividend as of balance sheet date. Ito kasi ay at declaration date. Declaration date. Gamit lang tayo sa compapal. So, yan. Halimbawa na ang at balance sheet date, nagbago na yung fair market value of the non-current asset declared as dividend at BS date, balance sheet date, December 31. So, halimbawa, naging na siya, 7 million. So, ibig sabihin, dadagdagan mo lang yung liability natin. So, by debiting your retained earnings, debit and credit sa property dividends payable. Since 7 million na yung value ng underlying asset, so dadagdagan lang natin siya ng 1 million para ma-update yung balance ng liability. And maaaring may tanong mo, ano naman yung gagawin dun sa asset? Yan yung asset, which is valued at lower of carrying versus the fair market value less cost to sell. Ang sabi sa standard, we are going to revalue siya at the end of the reporting period. So, ibig sabihin, i-revalue mo din to at balance sheet date. So, dalawa. I-adjust mo siya. Ano ba to? Yan, i-adjust mo siya. So, yung for the asset side, we are also going to adjust for the non-current asset held for disposal. So, for instance, halimbawa na ang fair market value less cost to sell as of balance sheet date is 6 million. Ikukumpara mo yun dun sa original na carrying value. Laging we have to take note of the original carrying value, which is yung 5 million. So, ikukumpara mo siya sa bago. For instance, halimbawa, ang fair market value less cost to sell is, halimbawa, ay naging 6 million at as of the balance sheet date. Ang carrying amount niya, halimbawa, is 5 million pa rin. So, we are going to use the lower amount, which is 5 million. So, as you can see, wala namang magiging adjustment as long as yung carrying amount niya or carrying value is mas mababa sa fair market value less cost to sell. Parang related siya dun sa concept ng impairment. As long as recoverable yung ating carrying value, we're good. Samantalang kung baliktad siya, halimbawa, mas mataas na tong carrying value kaysa dito, ibig sabihin, we have to test na for impairment ng asset kasi hindi na recoverable yung buong 5 million natin. And paano naman kapag nandun na tayo sa mismong settlement date? For example, itong taon na ito ay 2019, then 2020, so ito ay December 31, 2019, that is the end of the reporting period. Paano naman pagka sa settlement date na tayo? Settlement date. So, as of the settlement date, we have to take note of some reminders kasi yung sa liability side, we are still going to adjust the liability as of the settlement date. So, ibig sabihin, kailangan alamin uli natin yung fair market value of the non-current asset declared as dividend. For instance, kung tumaas na naman yung value niya from 7 million, naging 8 million siya. So, dadagdagan mo siya, i-update. So, yun yung mahalagang point. It is to update the liability as of the settlement date. Update. So, kung 8 million na siya, dadagdagan mo lang uli ng 1 million. Yun. And kung bumaba naman siya, edi babawasan mo lang. So, by debiting property dividends payable and crediting retained earnings. So, ibig sabihin, ang balance na ng ating dividends payable as of the settlement date is 8 million. Yan. So, kung 8 million na to, we also have to consider yun sa asset side. But take note that under PFRS 5, ang sabi doon is we are going to value the asset, the non-current asset held for sale or disposal at lower nung dalawa, yung diniscuss natin kanina, lower nito, pero ito ay at the end of the reporting period. At end of period. So meaning, kung ang settlement date natin ay halimbawa March 31 something. So kung March 31 siya, ibig sabihin, hindi na natin i-adjust yung asset. Yung layab na lang yung i-adjust mo because the adjustment for the asset under the standard is to be done at the end of the reporting period. Unlike yung sa liability na i-adjust mo siya as of the settlement date, because the reason behind this is that saka lang natin nalaman yung final value, yung pinaka-accurate value ng liability as of the settlement date. Because yung mga prior values natin are estimates, and for that reason, we have to adjust. But for the asset, hindi natin siya kailangang i-adjust. So, ibig sabihin kung ano yung balance natin as of the last balance sheet date or the end of the reporting period, yun na yung magiging value ng ating non-current asset. And in this case, balikan lang natin yung mga asset. So, from 5 million at the lower of carrying versus fair value less cost to sell. And as of the balance sheet date, kita naman natin na siya ay at 5 million pa rin. So, ibig sabihin, yung ikukumpara natin, pag sinettle na natin yung liability settlement, ito lang ng tinta, would be 5 million. So, pag sinettle natin siya, this is a typical, your typical settlement entry. That is by debiting property dividends payable at 8 million. So, yung balance ng liability natin which is adjusted or updated. By crediting yung non-current asset natin held for disposal. Sorry yung sulat ng sama. Non-current asset held for disposal as of the balance is 5 million. And then dito na papasok yung gain or loss natin. In this case, meron tayong gain on settlement na 3 million. Tara, yan. Yun na po yung accounting natin for property dividends. Meron lang tayong mga red flags na kailangang tingnan. Because, una po, hindi lahat ng asset ay account natin ng ganito. Yung na-declare as dividends, property dividend payable, hindi lahat ay kailangan nating i-reclass under PFRS 5. For instance, ay inventory and financial asset at fair value. Hindi na po natin kailangan gawin tong reclass. So, ito ay hindi applicable. Wala na naman tinta. Itong reclass po under PFRS 5 is not applicable for inventory. This is not applicable for inventory as well as financial asset at fair value. So, kung hindi siya applicable, you might ask, ano yung gagawin natin dito sa mga asset na to, na na-declare as dividends? Well, ang sabi is we are going to use the respective standard. So, ibig sabihin for inventory, gagamitin pa rin natin is past 2. Tama, diba? Past 2, which is lower of cost and net realizable value, for instance. We're going to use the standard, don't reclass. Yan, use the standard, don't reclass. Halimbawa na at balance sheet date, your carrying value is 4 million and your fair market value less cost to sell is 3 million. So, this would be an indication of impairment because yung 4 million mo na buo is hindi na siya recoverable entirely. So, we have to recognize for an impairment loss at the amount of 1 million. Yan, at the amount of 1 million. But kung halimbawa naman na baliktad siya, so ibig sabihin, recoverable pa rin yung buong amount. Let's say, 4 million siya, tapos ang naging fair market value niya, less cost to sell, is 5 million. Hindi natin i-recognize yung potential gain. Ang tawag dito is the potential gain. So wala naman ganun. Unless it would be tantamount to a reversal of your previous impairment loss. So yun, sa impairment siya. Kung may na-recognize tayo na previous impairment loss, and as of the next date, mas mataas na yung fair market value versus the carrying value, that is considered as a reversal of impairment, and in that case, we may recognize na yung ating gain. But of course, only up to the amount nung previously recognized impairment loss. Hanggang dun lang sa 1 million. Yun, and that's it. That's your procedures for accounting for property dividends payable. Sana po may natutunan kayo. Thank you.